Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen, aka Curly Kristenite. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. I'm doing a different type of video today. It's a reaction type of response video. Not reaction, but more of a response. It's a response video to a video that I saw, that I came across, that was very interesting to me, for many reasons that I'm going to explain in this video. But it's a video by ClevverTV, the channel ClevverTV. So ClevverTV does entertainment news topics on YouTube, and they also have another channel called ClevverTV. They post videos of more entertaining topics, and this particular segment is called Cheat Day. And so I've seen that they've done like Cuban food, they've done different snacks, tasting different snacks, and in this particular video they did South African food. Now they have someone on their staff, her name is Sinead, or I don't know how she says it, but in South Africa we would say Sinead de Vries, and she is from South Africa and her parents are from South Africa, and she decided to introduce everybody on ClevverTV and like the whole YouTube to South African food. Now in this video, the video has a lot of dislikes, it has a lot of negative comments in the comment section coming at this girl, and people in the comments, especially from South Africa, are coming at this girl saying, you're not South African, your citizenship should be cancelled. Who was disappointed? There was no biltong, there was no milk tart, there was nothing authentically South African about this video. And I do tend to agree with this. I tend to agree that this video that was made was not authentic South African food. But the question is then, what is South African food? Can you actually take South Africa and say this is South African language, this is South African food, this is South African culture? Like, I don't think, personally, I don't think there is one thing that will cover everybody, or cater to everybody, or resonate with everybody if you were to say that. South Africa is a country rich in cultures, and different languages, different foods, depending on what your race, ethnicity, background is, and your location as well. So I think that the big mistake with this video is that they took a specific culture and called it South African, and that's the issue that a lot of people had with this video. But was this necessarily wrong to do that? Was it wrong to say that all of the foods that were shown were South African? I mean, a lot of it I related to, and I'm South African, so I related to it, and I'm sure a lot of other people in Cape Town specifically did relate to the food that she showed. So in my opinion, that makes it South African. If she were to go on a show and speak about, for instance, Zulu food, and show them different types of Zulu food from the Zulu culture and say that this is South African food, would she be able to do that? I don't think it would be that appropriate for her to do if she's not Zulu herself. Like, I don't think she would have the experience to speak about that. She can only speak about what she knows from her context, from her like experience, you know. So I think that's exactly what happened. She spoke about foods that she grew up eating and was familiar with, that her mom made, and that makes it South African to her because she lives in America. So I think that some of the criticism is unfair. But I think that what she did, so to put it in context, like, to me, I don't know her ethnicity, but just by the way she speaks about Cape Town and the food that she did bring on the show, and just looking at her, it seems to me like she's Cape colored. And the food that she brought on, like for instance samosas and kusistas and pies, and those specifically, those three things are snacks that I know we find at every like 21st party, 60th birthday. Like, I'm used to though, and you can find it at like a corner convenience store. Those are like Cape Malay savory finger food basically. And then she also showed like lychee juice. I think that was a personal thing, and I didn't even know that lychee was such an exotic fruit that you can't get lychee in America or whatever. And then Marmite also, and peri peri chicken livers, which is something that people do eat here. I don't personally eat chicken livers, but it is food that is eaten here, that is loved by a lot of people, and it does have Portuguese influence, like she said. So but a lot of the things that she did say wasn't that accurate. Like, you could tell that it was just surface level information. There wasn't a lot of depth into what she said, and I think that's problematic. Like, but I do think, you know, it was a problem for them to call that food South African, because what happens is when a person from South Africa sees that title thumbnail, clicks on it, they expect to actually relate to what's on screen. And so what happened is many South Africans couldn't relate to it, and I think in particular a lot of what's out there in terms of South African things for the greater community relates a lot to Afrikaans people, like Afrikaans white culture. Like I've seen a video that is by BuzzFeed talking about trying South African food, and what they try is Oma biscuit, they try boerewors, they try or it wasn't necessarily BuzzFeed, but I've seen another video where they try South African food, and it was actually a whole lot of Afrikaans people, like Afrikaans white people, like boere food, boerekos, and it was boerewors, there was milk tart, there was bobotie, and this is food that like the average South African wouldn't actually relate to, I think. And I mean, personally for me, I didn't relate to it that much. I mean, I know those foods, but it's not food that I'm like that I eat or that I'm used to eating. So I think that was the problem. And then also the lack of Africanness, you could say, about that video. So there was a lot of times where she made reference to London, to Dutch, to Portuguese, to everything from other countries, and not knowing a lot about African languages. And I understand why people took issue with that. And that is I mean, a point for maybe Sinead learned something through that video, and now she can go and research up on that, and try and be more inclusive. But it's also, you've got to remember that a lot of colored culture, and when I say colored, I'm not speaking about black people in America. If you want to know more about the term colored and colored people, I do have a video explaining all of that. But basically, just a quick summary is that it's mixed race people in South Africa are called colored. And so when it comes to colored culture and colored food and the things that we eat, it is influenced a lot by the Dutch and by a little, not so much Portuguese, but there are different influences from different countries, by the British definitely, and as well as Malaysian, like Cape Malay. So Cape Malay is a huge influence, especially in Cape colored food. So the kusistas that she showed, the samosas, the mince pies, like those are Cape Malay specialties. And if you come to Cape Town and you look for a catering company, a Muslim catering company, they will make all of those things, and biryani and acne and those type of food, which is actually very Indian, but it's it's done in a different style, in a different way, which is Cape Malay. So, and that influence actually comes from Malaysia and Indonesia and islands around that area who were slaves back in the apartheid era. And so what happened was the government basically just grouped all of the mixed, or people who were sort of not white but not Bantu African black, and just grouped them. So the lighter African people, as well as slaves from like Malaysia, Indonesia, and anyone of a darker hue, just group them together and call them colored. So what you have is like this whole mix, melting pot of different cultures. And so that's what you see in this video, like, but it wasn't contextualized in that way. So I think that's the issue with the video. If they just like explained a little bit more about the history of South Africa and just contextualize it, saying like, this is not ethnically South African food, but there are a lot of South African people that eat this food, and that was from her personal experience. So when you're watching the video, also take it with that, you know, pinch of salt, that it's her experience as a South African. And I don't think it means that she's any less South African than anyone else. She does have a bit to learn about the country, yeah, but I think that we can give her the chance to do that learning, you know, if she is interested in doing that. It is on the internet, it is on YouTube, so it is representing the country as well. I mean, I don't think it's not the first time that this happens. It's just the first time that it's someone colored, I think. And I think that a lot of other people, like white and black people, have taken issue with this. I mean, I've seen a video where Charlize Theron speaks about South African things, but what she's speaking about is just Afrikaans things and calling it South African. So why is that not an issue, and this is an issue, you know? So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, I have a bit of mixed feelings with it. I wouldn't like crucify the girl. She did speak about certain things that are not like super accurate, like saying that Cape Town was discovered by a Portuguese guy. Like, it's just so surface level, so shallow, like a Portuguese guy. There was a guy, Bartholomew Diaz, who came to the Cape before Jan van Riebeeck, but he's not credited as the one who discovered the Cape because he didn't settle here. Or people in the comment section did correct and say that he discovered Cape Agulhas, not Cape Town, which we know today. So I mean, that is like a gray area, I believe. I don't even think that someone can discover a country that is already there. So that's why I don't even care if she says it's Bartholomew Diaz or Jan van Riebeeck. Like, I think that's just nonsense anyway. And then when it came to the languages, I mean, she could have done a little bit more effort to say like, we have 11 official languages, and it's not, English is not the most widely spoken, but I think it's good to note and to inform people that we do speak English in South Africa. It's quite widely spoken. It's the language of education, language of business. I mean, a lot of people don't know that, but what she kind of made it seem like was people speak English and Afrikaans, and then some African languages. Like, maybe that will make people think like, oh, probably in the huts they speak the African languages, you know. So that is kind of like, that wasn't that great. But I am kind of defending her, but also I think that she should do some more. She should have done a little bit more research, or brought it forth in a way that is more palatable. Not like, hey guys, this is the South African things for South Africa, South Africa, South Africa. No, it's more layered than that. We're not just we're not a homogenous group at all. So you can't say this is South African culture, because there isn't really such a thing. The only thing that I think covers, everybody is like braaiing. Everybody braais. But then again, there's some South Africans who don't braai, like even with that, like vegan South Africans, and you know, like people who don't eat meat wouldn't ever braai. Yeah, that's my take on it. I don't think she should be crucified for the way people are going at it in the comment section. What is your thoughts? Let me know in this comment section. I'll be sure to reply to you. And if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe if you want to see more videos about this. I do natural hair tutorials, but I also speak about my ethnicity and my culture and things of this nature, like this video. So if you're into that, then do subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.